why wouldn't I jump? As sinister as I may seem, it is not in my interest to wipe out my hosts. We all need other life to thrive. So if this sickness in your bodies opens your eyes to the deeper sickness in our shared planet, it will be to all our benefit. But my big question to you is this: am I enough? If apocalyptic fires aren't enough, if vanishing glaciers aren't enough, if super hurricanes aren't enough, is the cold shadow I cast across the lives of you and your loved ones enough for you to finally confront the prospect of your own extinction? Only you, humankind, can choose to be the cure to the deeper sickness. Only you can choose to nurture the ancient oceans, forests, and grasslands that nurture you, to bring back the chorus of birds and monkeys to silent rainforests, and to make wise choices every day in what you consume and how you live. By protecting nature in all its wild and wonderful forms, you protect yourselves. As the earth stops to take a collective deep breath, you have a rare opportunity to reimagine and redefine a new future. So tell me, what future do you choose?
Dancers.
Dear humankind,
Grace.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
The clip that you played didn't, I couldn't hear it. Could others hear it?
Yeah, I could hear it.
But
Shall I play it once more?
no, just ask another participant whether they heard, because the sound didn't come from my one.
I heard it.
So the sound was playing.
Yeah, it was. For me, it was.
Okay.
Quite inspirational.
So, all right. Did you all like it?
It was quite inspirational, yeah.
Okay, good. So let's start today's program then. So first I would like to thank Bante Punarachana Thero for inviting me to conduct this Paramita Buddhist Center youth program. And I would pay my humble respect and ask for permission to speak few words on behalf of the Dhamma. May the Mahasangha give me the permission. So, good morning to all of you. I'm so glad to be with you all today. So, I can share whatever that I know that can help you all to live a good life, a better life. So, before we start today's session, I would like to ask you all, is there any questions you all would like to ask from last week? Have you all started meditating? Can we have the mics on?
I probably didn't meditate as much as I would have liked, but I did use the Wim Hof breathing technique for the first few days.
Oh, that's good. Is it you that told me last week that because you were meditating, you really did not need to sleep as much like before and you were really energetic and awake?
Yeah, that was me.
Was it you?
Yes, it was.
All right. So what happened? Why did you took the time off?
Why did I stop meditating? Or because I guess in today's society, you keep hearing that 8 hours is the normal time to sleep. So if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep a night, then there's something wrong with you. So I
Right.
thought, oh, well, meditating is not letting me sleep for 8 hours a night. And that's what I'm meant to be sleeping. So if I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning full of energy, then this is not good for me.
You
So
thought something wrong with that.
yeah. So I stopped meditating.
Oh, well, how do you feel now? Sleeping long time is helping you, giving you the energy like before?
Well, now I've kind of come to a compromise, and I go to sleep maybe about 11 o'clock and I wake up at 5:30. So five and a half, 6.5 hours of sleep, and that's really all I feel I need these days. But I'm sure if I went back to deep meditation, I'd probably only need about 4 hours of sleep. Like,
Yeah.
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 I just don't know what to do with the extra 3 hours.
Well, you can do some yoga, you can study, you can read something, you can just be calm.
Yeah.
And you can, there's a lot of things you can do. You can start to help someone.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was a poor excuse, really.
Yeah,
And I was
because
coming
a lot of people, what they say is 24 hours is not enough.
yeah.
So I taught you a way to save the time.
Yes.
So you can really utilize that. If you don't have anything to do for yourself, well, you can use it for the others' benefit, right?
No.
Even just wishing well for the others. Sit for 1 hour and just think of all the suffering beings, and you wishing that may all these beings be free from all kinds of physical, mental suffering. That positive energy has an effect. It influences all the molecules around you in the house, in the environment, and the neighborhood, and the whole area you live in. It'll affect. You saw how it affects, right? Last time, remember that what the Dr. Emoto showed, the results of that research, how the thought waves affect the molecules. Yeah. So your thought waves has energy and it interacts with other molecules, and it has an effect. And you saw when you have negative bad thoughts, how it also help to distort the molecules around you. You saw clearly, right, from that water experiment. Do you remember?
Yeah. There's actually another experiment I saw where some primary school children, very similar thing, they had indoor plants, and for the indoor plants, they had like speakers that would say nasty things to the plant. And the plant that had the speakers that said bad things, the plant actually died. And the plant that had good things said to it thrived. So I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but I mean.
That clearly shows you how these thoughts has an effect on everything to your physical body, to your state of mood, and to the others living, and the things that we consider there's no life, but even the trees, they do have a life. So as long as these cells are alive, these thought waves can affect. And also I wanted to ask you all, did someone manage to download that What the Bleep Do We Know? How Far Down the Rabbit Hole? Those two
Didn't get a chance to.
documentaries? Anyone?
No, I didn't get a chance to have a look at them.
Okay, never mind. We'll watch it later, because that really shows you all how our thoughts, even our conscious attention, can change the behavior of the molecules. You know, there is an experiment that's being done, and they show that experiment in that movie. But I think while we are engaged in something, I'll search the YouTube and see if I could get just that clip from YouTube. Putte Ekmini, can you type while I'm talking? You have a computer there?
Yes, I do.
If you could type the slit experiment, how the consciousness affects the behavior of the atoms.
The slit experiment.
Yeah, or type all these words or something will come. It's explaining like in a cartoon. So what it's showing, really, the scientists experimented. They wanted to know how the atoms behave under certain conditions, the molecules or the atoms. And then accidentally they found, when there was no observer, they were behaving in one way, and when they had an observer, like the scientist or someone observing this, they got different results. So they were very confused at first, and they didn't know how it was happening. And then they established that our conscious thoughts, our consciousness, our even paying attention has an effect on the behavior of the molecules. That's what they established from that. So it's really shows the power of your you know, thoughts, the mind, the brain waves, how it can affect and interact. We can watch it if Putta found it. Did you find it, Putte? Not yet?
I'll show you what I've got. I'll show you one moment, please.
So let's watch it and see.
Is this the one?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the one. Thank you.
I'll get it from the start. No, hang on.
I can't hear the sound. Is it just me then?
Let me try again.
Now the volume button is turned off on the video.
Oh, thank you.
That's okay.
Alrighty, let's try that again.
And here we are.
Again, I can't hear, Putta.
Yeah, same.
Can't hear, Putta.
We see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right.
Is that better?
Yeah,
can
that's
you
better.
Okay.
beginning, please?
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So when we throw things, that is matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
That's really interesting. I didn't know about the observer effect.
So what it's showing is how even when we are observing, our frequency affects the tiniest molecule. I mean, the parts of the electron is influenced by our thought waves. I mean, that's what we can come to the conclusion. So there's a lot of experiments now being done on this. And when they really want to see how these molecules behave by itself, they have kind of now developed methods and instruments to keep the observer out and to get the results. Because when someone is observed, we don't get the real true results. So that's what's happening right now, because they understood when someone is there watching, our waves, brain waves interacts. So this is exactly what Buddha was teaching us. You know, when we produce a good thought, it has a good effect. When we develop negative thoughts, unwholesome thoughts in us, all the selfish thoughts, it also has an effect, but then it like you saw the water molecule, how we distorted it. When these water molecules were exposed to good thoughts, wholesome thoughts, you saw how nicely they arranged, how organized they looked. But when they were exposed to the negative thoughts, you saw how distorted they were, how disturbed were those molecules. So our thoughts has a bigger effect. So not just that our own thoughts affects the others, but our thoughts affects us firstly. So when we produce negative thoughts, that's when we get stressed. The stress is a direct result of our own negative, unwholesome, selfish thoughts. Because it tenses our cells, our muscles, and it changes everything in the body and also the chemicals in the body. And then it affects the brain, so it affects the mood. And all we experience is tension and unease, unhappiness. So that is stress. How did it come to be? From our own negative thoughts. On the other side, when you develop your mind, when you choose not to allow this negative, unwholesome, these selfish thoughts to go on and on in your mind, but when you stop them and get rid of them, and you start to purify your mind, and you start to consciously develop good thoughts, the selfless thoughts in your mind, it also has an effect. Straight away, it releases that tension that we have built up because of our selfish thoughts. So when the stress is relieved, we feel comfortable. So the body is going to be so relaxed. When our body is relaxed, we feel very comfortable, and with that comfort in the body, we feel happy. There is that sense of satisfied feeling, that satisfactoriness. Oh, this is good enough. I don't need anything else to feel good. Oh, as it is, I'm good. I'm really peaceful, calm, and I'm internally happy. So this is how we get the real happiness, from purifying our own mind. This is what Lord Buddha was teaching us, to take care of the mind. If you can take care of your own mind, that mind itself can give you a lot of comfort, peace, and happiness. It can remove your loneliness. It can remove your tensions. It can remove your anxiety worries. It can remove your depression. It can get rid of all these negative states, the moods, the disturbed moods like the anger, the fear, the jealousy, the grudges, all these kind of disturbances, the mind itself is quite capable of getting rid of them and leaving you with peace of mind. And when you're peaceful, internally, you feel very comfortable and, that satisfied feeling, and you feel happy. So mind, if you can take care of your own mind itself can give you the comfort and the happiness in life that you're looking for. Our mistake was we didn't understand that our mind is quite capable of giving us peace and happiness that we were longing for. Instead, we looked outside. We thought more we go after the worldly things. If we see something and we liked it, then we wanted it. Then when the desire, when we have a desire for it, so we wanted it, and then we worked hard to own it. And the same way, not just the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, whichever the six senses told us, I want this, I want that, and we worked hard to own that. And we thought by owning what we like, by following our desire, it'll give us happiness. The thing to understand here is that, yes, when we fulfill a desire, we do get a kick, kind of a pleasure, by kind of, having that sense of feeling that, oh, I have fulfilled my wish, my desire. But it's very temporary, very short-lived, only until that hormone is there for us to give that feeling. It just dies off after that. So after that, again, you're back to your basal level, that is stress and unhappiness. So again, whatever your senses says, I want this, I want that, we follow that. So then when we fulfill that, again, for a short period of time, we are happy. So we started kind of trying to find happiness this way. We kind of got mixed up with the pleasures to the real happiness. The pleasures come and go. So if we don't distinguish this and get back into the right track to find the real happiness, to kind of learn to tap into the ways to get this real happiness that comes with having calmness in the mind and having that relaxed feeling in the body, more we go through this pleasing the senses and trying to find happiness, is only going to take us away from the real comfort, peace, and the happiness. That's what has happened to us today. So now that we have come to a stage in the world, everyone is given a chance to think what really happened. Where did we go wrong? Why did this happen? Who is responsible for this? Because in a sense, now everyone is in jail. You all didn't have to go to the jail. That's controlled by the police and the jail keepers. By everyone is, they have to be at home. You can't move unless you have something very, very important to do. You're not supposed to go out. You are to stay inside. So it's like you're under house arrest. So everyone is starting to feel now, where did we go wrong? What happened? Why is this? So I think it's time for us to really reflect now what really happened. Because we were trying to please our senses as much as we can, And we didn't see that our desire was blind. We didn't see when we couldn't get our desire done or satisfied, we were upset. So that frustration came as anxiety, worries, or anger, or jealousy. We didn't see that too. So we were just fluctuating, from one end to the other end. We were thrown from the desires to the hatred side. And we were living with our moods. Anyway, to come back to the point, so when we have our desires, after we have fulfilled our desires, it only stays, that pleasure only stays for few minutes, few hours, a day, a week. But then after that, when that disappears, we are back to normal, to that unhappy state. So we will start another project. So like this, we engaged in one after another, thinking, doing this, definitely this time I will be happy. Oh, in the future, I can be happy if I do this, if I get this. So like that, we were chasing our desires, following them, but we didn't understand this is a never-ending game. We didn't see there's no end to this. And we will never find the real happiness. We'll never find the real satisfactoriness from doing this. It's like, have you heard that there is a method to, if a horse doesn't move, there is a method to move the horse. What they do, they put a stick in front of the horse and they put a carrot in it. But because it's stuck and it's few meters away from the horse really can't get it. But horse tries to catch it, so it has to run. So it thinks when it runs, it can get the carrot, but the carrot runs with that. Carrot moves with him. So then the horse runs. So it's like that. Our desires, we chase them because we thought we will get happiness, but we never got the happiness. Instead, we got tired. We didn't know we were really tired. Physically, we are exhausted. Mentally, we are exhausted. So this exhaustion is called the stress. So at the end, what we got is stress, because we didn't know that these desires were limitless. They didn't have any limit, and they were blind. So we were trying to fulfill these blind desires, and we came to a point where we didn't see, if I had the desire to eat this innocent chicken that's walking around, I didn't care about his life. I didn't care whether that chicken is afraid to die. I didn't care that chicken had little chooks to look after, and it was really happy with that family, to be around with the family. We didn't think any of that. If I had the desire, I would go and kill and have it on my plate. So we came to that point. If I had a wish that I wanted to do something with this tree, I didn't think, oh, so silently this tree was giving me oxygen. You know, my mom and dad, they brought me to the world, but if there was no oxygen, even if they give us milk, you know, mom breastfed us, and that's how we grew up. When we couldn't eat on our own, mom, with mom's milk, we grew. But even that is going to be useless if we didn't have any oxygen. So who was giving the oxygen? Not mom, not dad. Like I was telling you last time, I don't know whether it was this with this group or with a different group. I said the real mom and dad, the real people, or the real things that looking after us so silently is the trees, because it's giving us what we really need to keep ourselves alive, oxygen. and we produce carbon dioxide. And if this world is going to be filled with our carbon dioxide, we can't live. But the trees absorb them, and they turn that, transform it into oxygen that is useful to us, that really helps us to live. So the trees were doing this job, helping us to stay alive silently. So when we didn't see that, we didn't feel grateful about what it was doing. But if I had the desire, oh, I want to cut it and make a table or a chair or a matchstick or the books, we didn't think twice. We just cut it down, and we didn't think of replanting. It's okay if there is a real need to use a tree, but we must plant not just 5 trees. So in the future, there'll be something to replace that. So before we think of cutting down, we should replant. We should have something ready for it. But we didn't think of all that because it's too troublesome. It's too much work to do. We were only thinking about ourselves, what I want. And we became so greedy, we didn't care for others. We were only focused on what I want. And this is what happened. We didn't allow any little being, any animal, any tree thing to exist. We thought, I'm the one, I can control this. You all are there to satisfy my needs, my desires. And we thought the whole world is there for my use. And that's exactly what we did. And now it has come to a point, the world has given the answer. The nature has given the answer. The angels, the heavenly beings also have, given the answer. That they tried to control this human being, tried to tell them, you need to change your thinking, but no, we were not ready for that. The Dhamma was there. Even there are other religions that teach us these good teachings where emphasize on coexistence and not to hurt, harm, kill other beings for your use. Don't be violent, don't use violence, don't use other beings just because you desire to eat them. No, we were not paying attention. We just went on our own way, thinking anything and everything there is for me, because I was the queen of the center of the universe. Everything was revolving around me. Everything is there for me to live happily and for just my family to be happy. So we didn't see what we were doing to the others. We didn't see what we were doing to the environment, to the world. We were so blind. So now the time has come to pay the price. So it won't be easy to reverse what has taken place during these few months, because it's not just a virus. It's not about dying. It's not about, living. The whole world economy has collapsed, and it's about now rethinking how we are going to rebuild the world by the time when they find a vaccine or get rid of this COVID threat and find a vaccine. It will be a few months, a year ahead. And until that, things are not going to improve. Things will go down and down and down. So we will have to restart. I'm sure you also got these nice funny clips circulating around WhatsApp, which I got, where it said, oh, the world has shut down, but it's ready for a grand reopening. Yeah, there has to be a reopening now, a brand new fresh beginning with different level of thinking, with changed thinking. It has given us the time to evolve now, to act like proper human beings, because it's only the human being who can think and act. We are the only human, the animal on this planet who can think rationally and act rationally. So thinking rationally and acting rationally helps us to choose the good from the bad, right from the wrong. Why? Because we can understand what is really helping us to live a good life, what really brings the causes and conditions for us to suffer, what really destroys us and others and the world, and what really helps us to live comfortably, peacefully, and happily. So our mind is capable of understanding that. If I teach this to the biggest animal on earth, to the elephant, he won't understand this. To a horse, to a cow, to a giraffe, hippopotamus, the lion, none of them will understand this. Even your loving cat or the dog, just because they're being around us, but still they haven't improved their thinking. Their brain doesn't support rational, logical thinking. But it's the human being that's really designed to think rationally. So our duty is to really think rationally and logically and create the causes and conditions that's going to help us and others to live comfortably, peacefully, and happily. The only being who can do is a human being. So it's time now that we take responsibility. We understand who we are, our potential, our capabilities, and what we are supposed to do. And it's time to put things into action. And I believe this is a time of cleansing. The people who really have to answer to what has happened, what's happening, and who have contributed to this destruction, they will have a price to pay. And I think they are paying now. So the people who are going to be left on this earth to have this earthly experience will be the people who will change their thinking, who will change that there is, that it's time for us to evolve. It's time for us to give up our selfishness and to evolve to a higher being. Higher being means give up that selfishness, give up living just for yourself to find happiness, but living for the others. Only if we can do that, I believe we can survive this COVID-19. Why do I say that? Because this COVID-19 is testing our immune system. The only thing that can help us is our own immune system. And I think last week I emphasized that to you, how to strengthen your immune system. And the main factor, what weakens our immune system, is our stress. So stress people will not be able to face this successfully, because stress weakens our immune system. So if our immune system is weak, we cannot really think of surviving. So what's the connection between the immune system and being good, bad with the stress? What's the connection? I think in when I was at Paramita temple, I think I told you all very clearly. I didn't show you any clips from my memory, any videos, but I remember telling you how the stress response take place, the fight or flight reaction, how it tenses our muscles and all that. So I made it very clear, it's our self-centered thoughts that brings this tension. Our selfish thoughts about I, me, myself, and only about my survival. If I think that way, our body is always on that fight or flight reaction. So we feel very tensed. We feel aches and pains and joint pains, headaches, and a lot of discomfort throughout the body. And the mood changes. So I told you that's what we call stress. When this fight or flight reaction is keep on going without stopping, when it keeps on going continuously, 24 hours a day, and then 365 days, then you end up being stressed because there's no time to relax the muscles, relax the body, and there's no time for you to feel that comfort because you're always tensed. So always there's this stress, and always when these chemicals are in your brain, you have mood changes. You have 100,000 thoughts running in your mind, so many thoughts running in a minute. And those thoughts, they don't just come and go. As you saw, they have they influence the cell structure, your body, the environment you live in. It has an effect. So when you develop and harbor these negative thoughts, unwholesome thoughts in your mind, these selfish thoughts, they affect you in the negative way, creating all these moods. And when the moods are there, you are unhappy, and this physical discomfort and this unhappiness in the mind, this mood swings, they're coming together. We call this stress. So stress didn't start from without a cause. The cause is your own selfish, self-centered thoughts. That's what I was going to establish, that this stress is a direct result of you being selfish. So it is the selfish people who will get wiped out. Well, the elderly, they won't have much strength if they have worked really hard and now their immune system is weak. Not necessarily they have to be stressed, but if you're old and you don't have a strong immune system, you can be subject to this COVID-19 affecting you. But apart from these, if people are stressed, it can affect us. And this is only the beginning of COVID-19. The scientists are talking today, there is going to be a second wave, and then after that, they haven't thought, they think it's not going to stop there, because this is a virus that keeps on changing. So at the moment, they have found type A, type B, type C, and just because someone gets it once, there's no guarantee they will not get it for the second time. And there are people who have had it for 3 times, and their immune system was strong, and they were lucky enough to be helped at that time. So they have survived. But it's really uncertain how this is going to unfold in the future. So who will survive is the strong ones. So the selfish people, I don't believe they're internally strong, because the selfish people are stressed inside. So that's being tested now. So even if they survive right now because of the lockdown, but the time will come, we all will have to face the test. So at that time, either we will fail or we will pass. We will pass or fail, depending on how good is our immune system. So like that, the environment, the world, the nature is selecting who we should keep here, who should move on to a different level. This earth, in this earth, the human experience, why we become a human being, is we were ready to use this brain, the most evolved brain on this animal species. So we were kind of ready to use it and to ascend, or we were ready to kind of advance. That's why we were given this chance to advance, because it's only the human beings who has that potential to advance. You know, in Pali, the animals are called tirisang. Tirisang means, tirachana means they only go this way. There is no chance for ascending, no chance of developing them to a higher state. They only move in this level because the brain doesn't give the chance for them to think and act rationally. It's only emotional thinking, only moved by their senses and their emotions. But the human being can override this. That's what's special about human beings. The animal realm is dominated by emotions, but the human beings can override this by thinking rationally and logically, and they have the power to choose them. That's what we call the willpower. Willpower to choose the right from the wrong and the good from the bad, and act rationally. So we will not bring causes and conditions, develop causes and conditions for us and to others to suffer, but we can create comfort. We can create peace and happiness within us and for the others. It's a human being who can do that. So in Pali, this this special animal, the manusata, is also called manusa. Manusa. Manusa means that the one who has the ability to develop their mind, the one who has the ability to raise their understanding. Manu ussa. Ussa means usas. Usas karanawa kyane, you can develop. Usas wimak labenawa kyane, when you get a promotion, we say usas wimak labenawa. So we can promote ourselves to go up higher and higher and high. So higher status means you giving up the selfish thinking, giving up being selfish, and being selfless, and being there for the others. And when you give up your selfishness, actually your suffering goes, because suffering comes from that fight or flight reaction. The stress comes from that. So when you give up the selfishness totally, you become 100% selfless. That's what we call becoming an arahat, a true selfless being. We call becoming fully enlightened. So they have the real 100% true comfort, true relaxation, true comfort, and the true peace and happiness that doesn't get shaken by anything, because they have transformed from that selfish mode to a selfless mode, and that fixation has happened permanently. Buddha is teaching about that when we start to develop ourselves, it happens in stages, it's progressive, and we can measure them. And they are called the stream entry, once returner, non-returner, and an arahat, the fully enlightened being. So when you get into this stream, Buddha says it's irreversible, because it's an understanding that gets developed in our mind. So when we understand something, that doesn't get reversed. So it only can improve. So if you really want to be living a life without stress, this is the path to give up this selfishness and to live a selfless life. And you can imagine, if the world is going to be full of people who are not just for their work, for them to work, earn money, for them to build a house, for them to buy a BMW, but they are there so busy doing things for the others, to make others feel good, to make others feel better. So you can imagine how the world will be if we all were so busy doing things for the others, to make others comfortable, to make others feel good, to make it a better place for everyone. And the strange thing will be, no matter how busy you're going to be, you won't be tired, you won't be stressed, because you're not using the fight or flight reaction path. You're using a parasympathetic path, which more you work for others, more you will feel relaxed and comfortable and so energetic. And then you need to learn to really manage that energy and utilize it for the benefit of the others. Like Sachini was saying last week, when she started practicing, she was saying she didn't really need to sleep, and she thought it's not normal because she could feel she's so energetic. She has the, a lot of energy, and didn't want to sleep. Or even if she went to sleep for more than 4 hours, she couldn't sleep, but she will wake up in the middle of the night. And that's what happens when we really start to change ourselves from inside and change our thoughts. That's what the meditation does, by the way. It's not about just sitting somewhere and in a corner or putting white and just crossing your arms and legs. It's about you understanding your mind and changing these thoughts and purifying your mind. More you do that, you become more selfless. So your parasympathetic pathway starts to kick in, and it's going to start to give you a lot of energy. So that way you have a lot of time now to really serve the others. That's exactly what Buddha was doing. He only went to sleep. Sleep means not the normal unconscious sleep, but he went to rest at night for 2 hours. That's all he had taken, only 2 hours for him to rest from 24 hours. So 22 hours he was serving others, either teaching the human beings or teaching non-human beings, the lower realm ones or the higher realm, they were the angels. So he was always doing something for the benefit for the others. So he had the energy. He could utilize 22 hours. So today, a lot of these selfish people, they don't have time. You tell them to do something good, the first answer they give you, watch for this. First answer they give, they say, no, I don't have time. I hope you're not one of them. When your mom asks for help, and when they say, can you please do this or do that or help me, I hope you don't give that answer, I don't have time. It's the selfish people who don't have time for the others, to help others, okay? So when we really go in the right path, we have time. We all have 24 hours, and it's just a matter of that managing it. Now people don't know how to really manage it in the proper way. They only have time to sleep to 8 to 10 hours, and that's an utter waste. But if you're tired, there's no other way. But if you know a different way to relax and really be energetic, well, you don't need to sleep. It's being established. We have to look for these studies on the internet, that good 1 hour meditation equals to 6 hours good night sleep. This was established by this TM meditation group. You know, there was a group called Transcendental Meditation Group. They still exist. And they actually had labs, and they were doing a lot of tests on the meditators. They started in States. So they have established a lot of scientific research and the results. So from memory, I remember they were saying they have proven by measuring the brain waves and the relaxed mode and all these things that gives the signs of the rest. And so they have been measuring by you know, hooking up the brain to all these electrodes and everything, and they have established that one good 1 hour meditation relaxes the body and brings that internal peace, the calmness, the happiness, and rejuvenates the body, and gives it's equal to 6 hours a normal person's good sound sleep, 6 hours sleep. So really, if you meditate, really do it for 1 hour properly, you can cut down your sleep. We don't need to, like she was saying, even this time, she's still not convinced because it's so new. This is why you all need to have a teacher. So the teacher can teach you and guide you and tell you, no, don't worry. It's quite normal. So now that you're into meditation, check these results. You know, check what the these meditation groups have established. And I hope we can kind of find them beforehand, before this session, and we can play them and discuss them, so it can inspire you, and also it can build up trust on this. So it can help you to develop trust and faith in what you're doing, that nothing wrong is going on, but you're in the right track, and you are actually benefiting, and you're seeing the fruits of the meditation and how it can really help you to find more hours to stay awake and to help and serve others. Because like I said, the selfish people, they are interested in sleeping, and when this sleeping goes, then the normal range, we don't realize that, but it's crossing towards the depression part, where you're shutting down, where your mind has not much energy, it's not interested in much, so it's only interested in sleeping, shutting down. That's what we call depression, depressing the energy. So sleeping is not the real thing that helps us to really improve us. There are other methods where, like the meditation, when you change the physiology and the things inside the body, and you start to purify your mind itself starts ways to relax the body, and starts to get that energy from inside, and it's bubbling energy. Actually, you don't feel tired at all. And I'm glad that someone experienced this, because all of you can know it works. If you put your heart and commit some time to do these practices, it works and it becomes your experience, then no one can say that we are doing things blindly. No point meditating, no point learning the Dhamma. These are blind things. These are the things that people who are weak do. No, these are not the things that weaker people do, or because we don't have anything else to do. But this, I believe, this is the way to improve ourselves, develop ourselves. This spiritual awakening has to take place at this time. We do need to save our energy that we consume from outside, but we do need to turn into and get the energy from the inside battery, because we won't have much food left in the future for you to consume. Why we take the food is to get energy, but there is an internal machine that works. We can get energy, so we don't have to rely on too much food. Little food is enough to look after the body, but we get the real energy from inside. So I believe in the future the answer is here. All the problems, the troubles, the fame, the economic collapse and everything, the answer is that we have to evolve spiritually. So then we can find our own energy. We don't have to depend on things outside. So it won't affect us. So we won't be unhappy just because we don't have enough food, we don't have this, that, but it won't affect us. We won't be unhappy because we are happy internally and we have energy inside and we can help reach others. So it is the Dhamma that does that. So this is not a blind thing that we do. We are doing this consciously, knowing the effects, what it does to us. So take time to really think about these teachings and put your heart. And when you start to really understand the value of this, and when there are people who you can look up to because they have experience and they can guide you, saying, you know, yeah, what you're experiencing is quite normal and this is how it is, because nowadays you rarely find people who have the experience of real meditation and to help others to overcome their fears and to guide them into the right track. But you are lucky. So you have found Venerable Punyaratana Hamudruo, and they are there to guide you, help you. So you are not lost. You can be you can walk with trust and confidence, knowing that you are in the right track. So don't take the meditation just as something that you do, but just know how important is this, and also know in the future this will be the way for the humanity to grow. And so it's just a start, a beginning. And I believe that it's a good people who will be left on earth in the future. Even if we have one or two odd selfish people, they will have no choice but to learn to follow the others and learn to be selfless, because they will see their suffering. They are so stressed because of their own selfishness. So when there is a lot of good people around and there's only few bad, there's a chance they also will turn around and be good. At the moment, what was happening is too many selfish people, too many bad people, and even the good can't even do anything. It just has become like a madhouse. So that's why this cleansing is taking place, and these things happen time to time. So that's what's happening now. That's my understanding. So We don't have to fear. If you are good and you have good wishes and you know how to control your mind, your brain, and what we really need to develop, if we know all that, I think we don't have to worry about this, and we can look forward for the renewal and the grand opening of the world. So I think I talked about this, that, and the other, and came and stopped at the grand reopening. So we can look forward to that better world. So we can learn from now onwards as how to be part of it, how we can take care of ourselves, and how we can help others to go through this transformation and help the world to heal, and how to make it a better place. So first, we need to be better, we need to be good and better, and then we can, I believe, then we can influence others and the environment and the world. So that's, I think that's our duty at this time. So if y'all have any questions, Buddha, you can ask. Y'all can on your mics and can ask the questions. Putte Ekmini, are we having this until 11? I'm fine. Is this a 2-hour session? Is the others okay?
We can go till 11. I'm not sure if
Okay.
everybody can stay, but I guess anybody who can participate can stay on, I guess.
Okay. So, Buddha, do you all have any questions?
Manya, I have a question. I don't know whether it's related to what we were talking about.
That's fine.
How do you implement consistency in our lifestyle? Like, how do we stick to something and make sure that we do it every single day? Or because I'm struggling with that a little bit.
Okay, very good question. Very good. Discipline is very important in our lives. So there are few ways how we can discipline ourselves or how we can discipline another. And from all those methods, from using a rod, using punishment, using the reward, out of all these, there are many methods. Those are the things that came to my mind. But the best method is to do it with understanding. Okay? So, discipline is a must that we have. A discipline means being able to commit ourselves to do things that needs to be done because it's good. It ought to be. It's good, and we must do, we should do. So we should commit ourselves. Even if it's going to ask us to sacrifice our comforts, we should. We should sacrifice our comfort and do it because it's good to do. And the same way, if we are doing something wrong, something bad, that's not helping us, that's not helping others, but we are so comfortable with that and we find so much pleasure from that. But discipline means we having the strength and the courage to give it up, because it's good to give it up. So that's where we have to use our willpower, and we have to put the effort we call virya to not to do the wrong, the bad, and to do the good and the wholesome. With physical actions, while using the words and while thinking. So we have to apply this discipline to discipline our mind, our speech, our actions. We call Hita Kaya Vachana Tundora. So we do need to discipline those 3 areas. Now, we have embarked on disciplining our mind. Now that you are learning what is good, what is bad, we are learning the bad thinking is not good, unwholesome thoughts, the selfish thoughts are not good. So we are learning now to let go of them. And also now you all have heard not just thinking about yourself, but thinking about others and thinking about many, if possible, all beings is good. So we have started to develop to think others like, may all beings be well and happy. May all beings be comfortable, peaceful, and happy. So we develop that good thought in our mind instead of thinking all these rubbish thoughts. So that's one area we have focused and we are taking care of. And the other is the speech we do need to focus on. The other area is our activities. So to start with, when we talk about the activities, let's go to start the day. So it becomes very important what time you wake up. As I told you, sleeping is not really helpful. It's like we're wasting time. We don't do anything to make this place a better place, to help another, nothing. We just sleep. So it's an utter waste of time from my point of view. But we do need sleep to rest. But we are not just resting now. We are just sleeping and enjoying that the darkness, that, you know, shutting yourself, shutting the chattering mind in the sleep is so comfortable. So we are just sleeping and wasting the time. But that's why we feel so comfortable there, because the chattering mind has shut down. But there are methods now you're learning. We can be conscious and take care of the mind to shut down this chatter and to stop this unnecessary thinking and to stop the unnecessary moods. So we can be awake and still feel so peaceful, like while you're in the sleep, you feel so peaceful and happy. So then you don't have to shut down and sleep, but you're awake, but you have the rest and the mind like in a sleep. But then you can use that time, because you're awake and conscious, to do something to make this place a better place, to help another, to help the people in the house, the neighbors, the country fellow beings, everyone in the world, in the universe. So it depends on how far we can reach, how far is our influential range. But anyway, nowadays there's many things you can do when you save time. You don't have to physically go out, but there's internet, there's online. We don't have to physically go and meet someone or do something physically. We can do a lot of things online. So more time you have, more time you can take to help one another to make this a better place, even using this latest technologies. So saving time is very important. So from 24 hours, we should aim, target to use a lot of the hours to do something valuable that's going to help you, help me, help others, help the world, the universe, all beings. So it's very important that we have time. So we have 24 hours, but if we sleep for 12 hours or even 8 hours, I think that's just waste of time. So first, we can learn to establish a sleeping-waking pattern. The best time to wake up is 4 o'clock. naturally our body wakes up at 3:30. It's if you relax and if you really align with the energies of the cosmos, you don't need an alarm. You will wake up at 3:30. It's called in Pali Brahma Muhurte. And a lot of the animals that are relaxed, they also wake up at that time. And one animal that comes to my mind, they wake up around that time and then they shake, look around, and they start to cock-a-doodle-doo at 3:52. They, if you look at the time when they do the cock-a-doodle-doo, it's not at 4, 3:52, 53, around that time. They wake up around 3:30 and then, you know, shake around. So there is this natural awakening energy around at that time. But I guess if you can't wake up naturally at that time, never mind. Try to wake up at 4, even if that is too high right now, that standard. Probably try to you know, aim at waking up around 5 or 6 o'clock. Latest should be 6. Because
Mania, what time, if to wake up around let's say 3:50, 4 o'clock, what time do you think you should go to bed at?
yeah, I will come there. I will
Okay.
get there. I will do that. So wake up at least by 6, 4, 5, 6, somewhere there. And that time the whole world is you know, quiet. So the energies are quiet. You can meditate at that time. You can easily relax and meditate. The outside energies, forces won't affect you much. So that's why we choose that time. One reason, so you can meditate or do important things at that time. So for me, one of the most important things we can do is to first look after our own body and mind. So do some yoga, do some exercises, and do some meditation. Then start the day. So you can allocate about 1 hour for that, to do some yoga and exercises and meditate. Then you start your day. Then you have breakfast at a certain time every day if possible, because this is important. So we learn to eat every day, and we eat at that time. So at that time you'll be naturally hungry. Because another thing to remind you all is it's not good to eat all the time when you're not hungry. So we have to establish patterns that we eat at certain times. So the body itself will set the clock to be hungry at that time. So you can you know, eat at that time. When you eat, when you're hungry, the gastric acids are there, the juices are there, the food will get digested properly and they will get absorbed. Then you will have enough nutrition into your body, and it will help at this time to boost the immune system, and as well as for you to find energy and to live a good life. So it's very important. So have set times for your meals. So have your breakfast about 7 or 7:30 or 8, whatever the time. So you have your breakfast, and then you go and do your things, whatever you have to do. I forgot to mention, normally what I do when I wake up early in the morning, I have a shower. So the first thing I do is have a shower. So it really freshens up. After that, you won't feel sleepy. You won't get second thoughts about, oh, it'll be nice to go back to bed. No. So have a shower if possible. So then during the daytime, you do your studies, your work, helping mom or dad or siblings or helping others, whatever you all have to do, your duties, carry on, and then have a set time for lunch from 12 to 2. Between that time, set your time to have lunch and have lunch. So you will get hungry by that time. And then again, if you like, have some rest, do something you like go outside and read a book or have a short, we call cat nap, not sleeping, but really sitting and really relaxing, because we do need to have a break around that time. The body needs a break. So you just sit, meditate, or just go outside and relax. And I forgot to tell you, these days in the morning, you should leave some time for you all to go and sunbathe in the morning. Between 10 to 1 o'clock, that's where they say the best ultraviolet B rays are emitted, and those are the rays that helps us to produce vitamin D when our skin is exposed to the sun. I think last week we talked about it, because there's findings that it says vitamin D deficiency impairs our immune system. So the immune system cannot work. So to boost it, we have to provide proper levels of vitamin D to our body. So one of the best ways to get vitamin D is by exposing your skin to the sunlight between 10 to, say, let's 12. So expose it for about 10-15 minutes, go outside, take deep breaths, practice that Wim Hof method, or just sit under a tree, but you are exposing yourself to the sunlight, okay? So make it a habit too these days, because there's very few food you can get this vitamin D. One food is mushroom. The mushrooms are full of vitamin D, and there is this theory where if you can leave your mushrooms upside down to the sunlight for about 1 hour or 2 hours before you cook, it'll produce more vitamin D inside them. So you get a bonus shot of vitamin D. There's not many other food that produces vitamin D. So either you have to get it by sunlight, mushroom, or you have to take the synthesized vitamin D from that capsule. So pay attention to that. I'm not too sure about latest research where they have found good food that gives a lot of vitamin D. The only thing I know is this mushroom. So do your own research on that. So make it part of your daily routine to have some sunlight, touching your skin. So then when we were talking about the afternoon part, do whatever you all have to do in the afternoon and learn to eat something light in the evening. Have a good meal, balanced meal during the lunchtime. And I have been also focusing on telling you all and saying we should try not to be cruel, not to inflict any hurt, harm, suffering, violence to animals. So try and see as much as you can to go vegetarian, because eating meat and fish can make our body go acidic. So this acidity also suppresses our immune system. That's why I said there's a lot of tests nowadays, how it will test us, how nice we are, how kind we are, how compassionate we are, how selfless we are, how much we think about others. They all will get tested from the way we live, the way we eat. And so if possible, with understanding, either for your good or for the good of the others, try and go full vegetarian if possible, to help you, to help others, and to help these innocent beings, and to help the earth, because this farming has done so much damage. So I can actually arrange a documentary maybe next week to show you how the farming has led this world to be in this stage. Okay, so that's about food. Eat a full meal during the daytime, and it says our enzymes, our own hydrochloric acid and a lot of enzymes are needed to digest the food. And when the sun is above us, that's the midday, let's say from 12 to 1, 11 to 1, because of the tilt of the earth and how we kind of move our clock around daylight saving. So it will be, I think, from midday means 11 to maybe 2 maximum. We should try to aim to eat during that time, because the sunlight has an effect on how our body runs, how these enzymes work. Enzymes work with the optimally when our body has a certain heat. You know that if you have done science. So the sunlight affects us directly. So that could have been one of the reasons why Buddha put in our Vinaya, in code of conduct for the monks and nuns, we must eat during midday and finish during the midday. So in the monasteries, we actually set that time from 11 to 1 and we finish. So we have come to that middle point where by 12 o'clock, a lot of the Sri Lankan, the temples, the aranyas, they use 12 o'clock as a guide, but it's actually what's in the Vinaya is the midday. So there is a point in that. We live because of the sun. We get energy from the sun. If one day the sun disappears, we won't be able to live. So it's good that we pay attention to these things. So in the evening, there is no sun. That means if you eat heavy meals, it's difficult to digest. That's the whole point. If you eat heavy meals, difficult to digest, so you get indigestion, and whatever you eat also a waste. So it's like you eating a $10 paper, and then it goes just out there without benefiting you. So no point. We eat things that's not going to digest and help us to absorb what's in it. We won't benefit. So at night, you should eat something very light, helping your stomach to digest. So a soup or whatever, do your own research as to what are the light foods. So take a light food, minimum quantity, and go to bed after about 3-4 hours after you have taken the meal. So the best time here, they follow, they say supper. The Aussies, they have their dinner about 5-6. If you know families closely, they eat about 5-6, and they say they take a bicky and a cup of tea or something, drink before they go to bed. But they take their dinner about 5-6. It's our Sri Lankan community that they have developed these wrong habits, eating at 9, 10, and go to sleep at 11, 12. Those are wrong habits. Anyway, so it's up to you to reorientate and break away from the unwholesome habits and try and set up good habits that will benefit you and the others. So eat early, about 5-6, and then keep your stomach empty and go to bed with an empty stomach after 3-4 hours. So also throughout the day, drink water, warm things, alkaline drinks, put a piece of lemon maybe, and drink warm water and alkaline things throughout the day. You should stop drinking before half an hour the meal and half an hour after the meal. That time you should stop drinking. Okay, but throughout the day you should drink at least about 2 to 3 liters the whole day during the day. And then so in the evening after the meal, so again, whatever you all have to do them, whether you study, you do whatever. And then if you are to wake up at 4, you should go to bed at least about 8, 9, latest 10. So you have 4 to 6 hours sleep. So try first from 6 hours, taking 6 hours sleep. because straight away you won't be able to start from 4 hours unless you are a good practitioner, unless your body is so relaxed and you feel you're peaceful and you're happy. You won't even need 4 hours. But to begin with, I would recommend you to have minimum 6 hours sleep. I guess maximum also 6 hours sleep. No point having more than that. Because of this COVID thing, they say rest for 7 to 8 hours. Yes, because people have been overworking, stressed, and stress is not a good thing for us. It suppresses the immune systems to get rid of this tension in the body, the tiredness, allowing the body to heal and regenerate. They say sleep to 7 to 8 hours. That should be the advice for the normal people, the average people. Yes, I see the point. But for you all, if you are not that stressed and you're into this meditation, you can try with 6 hours sleep. Okay. And at night, another thing you all should avoid is watching TV and just gazing at the computer, playing games, because these things will weaken you. It puts additional stress on the nervous system, on the brain. It needs to, rapidly process the information, and the information you gain from this watching these teledramas and all this rubbish is not really meaningful. At the end of the day, you only wasted your time just watching something for the sake of watching and as a habit. So try to break away from the habits that's hurting you, hurting your brain, hurting your body, that's sapping your energy for no reason. If you really want to watch something, watch a good documentary. Something has good information about how to make your life a better one. All this research on the brain, on the body, about the food nowadays, because that's important for you. So stop watching all this rubbish, what the others are doing and what the actors are, how they are fooling you. I think it's time for us to wake up and really manage our time. So more you really give up watching these unnecessary things, your brain will start to rest, and that's really a good thing, because you won't need much sleep then, because your nerves are not that tired. They don't need that much rest anyway. So you will see these differences. Try these for yourself. Watch a TV and go to bed, and without watching the TV and go to bed, then check the quality of the sleep, then check when you wake up, how was the mood, how was the state of the mind. You will see the differences. So you can establish for yourself what kind of effect these things has on you. Okay, so this is one area that I was talking about, that we need to discipline ourselves to go to sleep at a certain time and to wake up at a certain time, because it's good. So the body gets used to that cycle. So like I have trained myself to be like this for a long time, even when I was a child. So I only had 4 hours sleep. I always would wake up about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And no matter wherever I go, even when I travel, it has amazed me. I have traveled from here to straight to States, or from here to Sri Lanka or to England, which part of the world I have been. The next day after I got down from the flight, and next day I would wake up from their time. There's no jet lag. There's nothing. So I didn't understand about this jet lag thing people are talking about, what they are talking about. Somehow the brain adjusts like that instantly to that country, to that time, and wake up so fresh from that time. Even this time when I came straight from Sri Lanka to Melbourne, I think I came about 12 o'clock midnight. I got here, and then I was up at 4. So the ones who are in here are like many ones. You are up before us. We sleep. We thought you won't come for that. No, I was up at 4. So the brain, you know, it can be programmed. When it programs, it runs the program, no matter where you are. It's so fun. So you can program your brain, and then it will run that program throughout your life. I think until we die, it will be like that. So anyway, but we need to discipline ourselves. When we know something is good and if we can see the value, we just have to tell ourselves, hey, look, this is too valuable to give up. We need to give up our laziness, our these unwholesome habits, negative habits. We need to hold on to these good things. It's called actually saddha. Saddha means one of the main things that's emphasized in Buddhism is to have saddha, being misinterpreted a lot as well. But to me, what saddha means is holding on to the good, not giving up the good. So they say to have the saddha for the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. What that means is holding on to the good, not giving up. Sat means it's a prefix. In Pali, sat is a prefix. We call a man Purusha in Pali. I'm sure some of you know. Purusha kiyala kiyanne manusya කියන එක. Pirimiya කියන එක. When we put that prefix to that, Sat Purushaya, that means a good person, good man. We call Gunavat, means Gunavat කියලා කියන්නේ හොඳයි කියන එක. That means Gunavat means the good, to denote the good, good qualities. We say, when we say a good person with good qualities, we say Gunavat කියන එක. But when we put the prefix Sat, we say he is Sadgunavat. Instantly, it means immediately. The meaning comes to our head is that, oh, he's a really good person. Not just ordinary, but an extraordinary good person. Extraordinary good qualities that he or she has. That's why Sadgunavat. So Sat is a prefix. Dha means Dharanawa. Dharanawa kyane mehema upholding. The real word is upholding. So Saddha means upholding this goodness and the wisdom. Part of the goodness is also having ability to have this wisdom, to see what is good, what is bad, what's right, what's wrong, and what's the real reality. So upholding the goodness and wisdom is the Saddha. So you having Saddha for Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha means you're upholding their goodness and the wisdom. So the most wise person on earth, the most good person on earth, the most pure person on earth is the Lord Buddha. So you follow Lord Buddha means if you really want to transform your life, that then you have to uphold the goodness and wisdom of the Lord Buddha. If you do that, then that transformation is possible because you recognize the value of the goodness and the wisdom of what Buddha has. And then I say, I want to have that because it's good. It's too good to not to develop, because this is where the secret, this is where how we can find the real peace and happiness. So I must uphold this goodness and wisdom. And then that gives us the strength and the courage to really follow through. So the first thing to discipline ourselves is to have the understanding what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, and having that will to make decisions, choosing things between this. If something is wrong, something produces bad results. Bad means bringing suffering, stress to oneself and to others. That's something bad. If no matter how we like it, no matter how much pleasure it gives, say smoking, say having cigarette, say eating meat, no matter how much pleasure it's going to give you, but if it's a bad act, if it brings stress to you and to the others, it's something to give up. Because it's bad, therefore we must give it up. Giving up our comfort and the luxury and the pleasure that it's going to bring us. But if something is good, that means it's going to help us, oneself and others, excuse me, to find this relaxation, for us to find comfort in the body, for us to find peace of mind, for us to find happiness. So the comfort, don't get mistaken by, you pleasing your senses and getting these pleasures and being comfortable with that. I didn't mean that. The real comfort comes from relaxing the body. When your nerves are calmed down and when your muscles are loosen the tension, when it's relaxed, that's when you really feel the real comfort of the body. That's why I was encouraging you all to do yoga or some physical exercises in the morning to release the tensions in the muscles so you can feel comfortable. And by the way, doing these exercises also helps immune system to boost, because the muscles release myokines, and also our vasa. What is the what is the system that's connected with the immune system? All these glands here.
Lymphatic system.
Lymphatic system. That's right. Thank you. So the lymphatic system don't have a pump. Heart is a pump to circulate the blood. So blood has a pump. So it's pressured. But lymphatic system don't have a system that gives it pressure to circulate everywhere. So it is at these lymphatic systems, our white blood cells will fight with the foreign matters, and then the debris are left, and whatever after that war, they get collected there. So these things have to be circulated and taken into the parts of the body to get rid of them, these toxins, to get rid of our body. So they also have to go to our liver, to kidneys, and these toxins have to be taken out. But there is no pump to circulate. So it's very important that we exercise, so the muscles will act as the pump. Moving muscles will add pressure, and this liquid in the lymphatic system will go up and down. And also tapping, you can tap, you can watch on an anatomy book or go through an anatomy lesson from the internet and find where the lymphatic nodes are here, here, thymus, under the armpits, in the groin, and check. So you can tap them as well. So when you tap and push and exercise them, the liquid will start to flow up and down, and that will help to boost the immune system. So that's another important thing why you should do yoga or exercises at this time. So I was talking about this yoga and the exercises to relieve the muscle tension, so you feel comfortable. So that's the comfort I was talking about, not the pleasures you gain from pleasing your senses, but by being really relaxed, you feel comfortable. That's the true comfort. And with that comfort, when the body is comfortable, you start to feel true sense of calmness in your mind. The mind settles in only if your body is comfortable. If your body is tense, when you have aches and pains, your mind is restless. It just grabs that pain, the tension and the discomfort, and you are unhappy then. So for the mind to be happy, it has to be free from bodily discomforts. This is why it's very important for the body to be relaxed. Then you feel comfortable, then the mind is happy. So this is how we gain the true happiness. So in order to gain this, whatever we have to do, even if it's difficult, we must do. Now, one of the things that you really like to do if you're into wrong habits, to eat a big meal at night and put your feet on the couch and watch a TV until 10, 11, 12, and then drink as well, and go to bed. That's a wrong habit. So if you know this is not going to help us to have good health and to live a good life, even no matter how comfortable you feel around that wrong habit, we should give it up, because it's wrong, it's bad, it's not going to help us. So we should try to give it up the bad and also develop good habits. Now say, you know, eating a light meal, we should teach ourselves it's okay, we will not die even if we fast. There are people who fast, you know, when people go on 8 precept, they fast after the midday. Monks and nuns, they fast. So fasting is another good thing to cleanse the body, to help the immune system to really function well. They have found that as well from a research. Anyway, if you can't fast, never mind, you should take something light. So whether you delight on that or not, because that's what is good for us, we should start to practice that. So like that, you know, there is a food what we call bitter gourd. It's very bitter, it's not pleasing to eat, but it has a lot of vitamins and minerals and trace minerals that we need into our body. And one of the foods that has this trace element called gold, one of the very rare vegetables that has gold in it. So we need gold in the body, in trace elements. This bitter gourd has. That's why even though it's bitter, we don't like it, it's not pleasing, but we develop a taste for it, we eat it because it's good for us. So it's like that. Having this will means we practice this willpower to do what need to be done, no matter how hard it is, how displeasing it is, but we do it. We make it a point to do it because it's important, it's good. And no matter how hard it is to give up these bad habits, we give it up because it's bad. So that is being disciplined, finding the strength and courage to let go of the bad, the wrong things, and to practice and to develop the good, wholesome habits. Okay, that's being the meaning of being disciplined. So whatever you want to incorporate into your life that you think something is good, you must first understand how good is that, why is it good. And if you can understand the value, then the mind itself will be ready to accept it and implement into your day-to-day program. So you won't have a hard time. It's just then you have to keep an eye and regularly, you know, practice it. So did that answer your question?
I did. Thank you so much. I think for me, I used to wake up at 4:35 sometimes when I was going to uni to catch the train. But
Right.
now I'm finding it difficult to wake up at that time when, you know, I can wake up half an hour before my class and then attend it online. So that's why I was struggling.
Yeah.
To,
So you're becoming lazy. That's what it is.
yeah.
We have to give up the laziness. It's not going to help us achieve much, you know.
Yeah.
So give up the laziness, you know, have a timetable and be regular and keep doing it, and you will see the results.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. And now that you're all at home, please do help mom, dad, the other sisters, brothers, whoever needs help around, you know, while they're washing, while they're cooking, while they're cleaning. Don't just sit and wait and just pretend like you're studying. Help them. Extend your hand and help them while you're studying. Balance your study time and helping time, because it's really good for you all to learn to be selfless starting from home. Think about your mom, think about your dad, think about the others who live in the house. When you go to eat, think about the quantities, how much you can take from what's being cooked, how much is for you, and how you have to share, and how you can help to clean after that. Don't just leave it for mom and dad, but help. And also the washing, you should take care of your own washing and things. And if mom and dad is doing the common ones, you should help them wash, dry, fold them. So I think last week we talked about keeping our place clean, neat and tidy. So do that, help your mom and dad to do that. And so start to develop this sense of looking after others from home. Our problem is we don't even pay attention to mom, dad, or the sisters and the brothers, and we don't have that sense of wanting to look after each other. So that's where the problem starts. So everyone starts to feel, oh, that one is not looking after me or not thinking about me. So they start to develop that ill thought in them, and then this is how the wars begin. So the charity starts from home where you live. So start to help your mom, dad, and then the sisters and the brothers. And then, you know, slowly you can extend your heart to the neighbors, to the villagers, to the country people, and to the whole world. Okay, so everything starts from home. So don't just sit around and just only do your own things. Think about others and start helping. Okay, is there anything else? Because I was talking about it this morning with someone, a mom who was complaining about her daughter or the son, you know, how they don't do anything. Now they're at home, but don't move, don't try like to lift a finger. So I was saying, actually, it's a problem with the education nowadays, because those days education was meant to help us to develop spiritually as well. Education taught us not to be selfish, but how we can let go of this gene program, the self-centeredness, and how we can override that and become a selfless being. That's what the education was meant to do, and it did at that time. So the people, when they, after they go to school, more they educate, they were more good people, more sensible people, more generous people. They were very good, helping others and making this place a better place. But recently what happened, the education just became a mean for selfish people to be more selfish. They use the education just to, you know, go to tuition, just to study, get the pass exam papers, write and pass the exam. So go to uni, and then why go to uni? To get a good job. Why get a good job? Not just because you want to use your talent and serve the world to make it a better place, but for you to get a good job is because you want to get good money, big money, so you can live a luxurious life. Your mind was on your own things. You had your own agenda. You didn't have the aim to serve others or help others, but was self-serving agenda. So this education has resulted in producing more and more selfish people. By the time when you all come out from university, you are a selfish ... I wouldn't say that. It's because it only taught to look after your own thing, to compete, pass your exams, and make sure you get a good job, and from that go to the top so you can earn big money. So this hasn't helped us at all. So you all need to change. This education system has to be changed. And I think it will happen. People will recognize this, people will talk, the people who can influence. I think they will do it, because without changing these, there's no hope for the future. For us to change, the education system has to be changed. So while you're learning, it's good that you're learning the Dhamma. It's a Dhamma that's nourishing you, really teaching you the, the right path, the correct path. So you can utilize the worldly knowledge that you gain from your studies to, polish your talents, and then use your talent to serve the world. Yeah. So while you're staying home, no, don't show any signs of selfishness. Don't look after your own things, but start helping your mom, dad, and then taking care of them, and then making a very peaceful, nice environment, starting from home. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else you all want to ask? Is there anything else? Can we switch on the mics? I think I've been talking and talking and talking today. We couldn't even do the breathing exercise. Shall we do the breathing exercise? Have you all done it at home?
Yeah, I tried the Wilhoff's method last time at home.
Mm-hmm. So it's something that you all can try to practice every day early in the morning. When you wake up early in the morning, that's a good exercise to start the day with, because it really energizes the body, it alkalines the body, and you'll be fully energized, and also it makes you very calm. Like that day you were saying, when you practiced, you felt really relieved and calm. Yeah, that's what it does. So practice it every day, if possible, morning and night.
Would you say you do that right after you wake up, as soon as you wake up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And you can do it throughout the day as well, and before you go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard the request that you all would like to have this session weekly, not once a month, and I'm quite happy to, and I was very happy to hear that too. And Hamudro was very happy as well to hear that you all requested, let's have this once a week. So I'm quite happy, and I look forward to, and hope you will enjoy it as well, and you will share this message with your friends, and help them to join as well.
Yeah, I tried to get my friend to come today, but I think she's busy, because I think these discussions are very important at this time, because we have so much time to ourselves that we forget what's important. And I felt like before this whole thing started, I used to be so connected. Like, I used to go to the temple and come to the SIL sessions quite regularly, and I used to go with Dhamma as well, and there was a sense of purpose and balance in my life. While it's now, when you can't leave the house, when you can't do anything, it's hard to keep that same motivation up. And yeah, I really enjoy these sessions because of that.
Good. That's good. I'm glad. So is there any more questions? Everyone is welcome to share your ideas. You can switch on your mic and just make a comment one by one, and then maybe we can finish the session if you all don't have any other questions to ask. But I would like you to feel free to make a comment, and then we can leave. I saw some were leaving. That's good because I think they have already planned some things. For your information, also, you can tell your mom and dad that we have a singular Dhamma discussion happening on Saturdays, like today, 6 to like 7:30, 8 p.m., which I can forward you that poster. You can pass it to them or help them set up. You do need to send an email to that email, dhamma.awakening at whatever, I think gmail.com, and then register. Then they will send the password and the ID. So they can actually join in the evening if they like.
Okay. Do we send that email to?
I will send it to you, and you can pass it to your participants, and they can pass it to their parents, and also maybe help them by sending the email, and maybe help mom and dad to download the Zoom onto their phone or to the computer.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to help them because they are not up to date with this technology. So you all can help them, and it's really meritorious thing to help them to listen Dhamma at this time. I know a lot of them are they also feel like trapped at home and they can't go to the temple, they can't listen to Bana, they can't ask questions. So that will be a big relief for them, and please help them. I'll send it to you straight after this.
Thank you.
For you to forward. So, how many participants were here today, Pute?
I think about 8.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, one left early.
So less than last week. Is this a good time?
I think people might still be waking up.
Okay, you share this message and they will. Actually, I wouldn't mind moving it to the 2 to 4 slot. Would you like to, if it helps?
Yeah, we can try.
Because I also have another group that's called the Women's Federation for World Peace. It's something to do with the United Nations. So that group wanted me to do some teaching. That's, I think, from 9:30 to something. It's starting in May somewhere. Until that I can do in the morning. But if we don't have many numbers, that means, like you said, they are not waking up. So we can shift it to the afternoon, maybe from next week.
Mm-hmm.
So that will help me not to clash with the other program. But I can send you the details for the other program too if you all want to join in, if anyone wants to. But it's for the adults and for not just aiming for the Buddhists. It's for, people around the world and with many heavy discussions and things. But that will happen in the morning. I think the first session is on the 16th or something, which I thought this session was going to be 2 to 4. So I told them the morning. So instead of telling them and changing it, easy for me to change with you all, and if it's helpful to you.
Oh yeah, I think we might have more participants if it's Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, no?
Oh, Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday 2 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we'll keep it to Saturday. That was the youth program day.
Yeah. Yes.
So they have one day, at least once a month, set up for that. So at least they will come and join on that day.
Yeah.
If they can't come weekly. But let's hope they will enjoy very much that they will come every week. Let's keep some documentaries ready as well so we can watch them, and that'll be more interesting. I mean, it'll arouse more interest.
Okay.
Talking, just me. Maybe them. Okay. So, anyone would like to share anything? Shall we close? Then, if you're shy to unmute your mic and say something, I'm actually interested to know what you are thinking. Can we have the mics on, please? Kind request. Putekmini, can you moderate from the top to the bottom? You give them the chance and ask them to talk. Just few words. I want to know what they think.
Okay,
And
Anuji,
what
would
they
you like
think
to go
happened
first?
today.
So I really enjoyed these sessions, especially because it's not just all related to like the Dhamma, even though it's really important too, but we can relate it to like stuff that's happening right now. So I think something I'm going to start is probably just like the really simple thing, like just going outside every day for like 10-15 minutes. Yeah.
Not bad. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, Anupa, would you like to go next?
Sure. So I really like these just because they really bring everything down and they really help me to learn, and yeah, it's just very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ishika, do you have any more to share?
No, I think I'm good.
Me? Okay. Would you like to go next? No, I think Nimi may be away. Sinclair, would you like to share anything? No, I think that's probably all we've got now.
All right. Okay, then Putta, let's wrap it up. So whatever the merits that we have generated today, may all these merits bring all of us closer to Nibbana, as well as may they generate causes and conditions for all beings to live a comfortable, peaceful, and a happy life, and for everyone to experience the bliss of Nibbana. And also, let's share these merits with departed relatives and friends, and also with the angels, the gods, the heavenly beings. May they also rejoice in these merits, and may they experience their happiness for long period of times, and as and when they wish to attain Nibbana. May these merits help them also to attain full enlightenment. And also let's share this with all beings. May all beings benefit from these merits, and may they also may this also bring causes and conditions for all beings to attain bliss of Nibbana. And also would like to share the merit with Bhante Punyaratana, the abbot of the current head and the abbot of Paramita Buddhist Meditation Center in Rockbank. Also, I would like to humbly pay my respect to Bhante and thank from the bottom of the heart for inviting me to share this with the youth group at the Paramita Buddhist Temple. And also I would like to share this merit with the Devarakita Hamaduro, who is in Sri Lanka, and also with all the other Sangha who is associated with that temple. May they all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. May their journey towards Nibbana be smooth, be free from obstacles, and may they be able to attain Nibbana as soon as possible. And also may they find a lot of strength and courage to spread the word of the Buddha, the Dhamma, to the four corners of the world. May they get enough support, and may they be protected, and may they gain long life, good health and long life, and may they attain Nibbana as soon as possible. And also would like to share these merits with all of you, with the daughter Ekmini, and also Shahan Puta, who is helping Ekmini Dua, and everyone who is putting a lot of effort to set this up and keep this online group going on. And anyone and everyone who is helping in whichever the way, let's think of them as well. And also your with all of you, I would like to share the merits. You gave the opportunity for us to share this knowledge around, and so I would like to share the merits with all of you, and also with all of your parents. It's because of their support you could do this, you could gain this understanding. So let's share these merits with your parents, with your teachers, with your siblings, with your relatives, with your friends, and with all beings. May you all benefit from these merits and gain. May this bring causes and conditions for you all to find good health and long life. May this help you all to find success in all the good aspirations that you all have. And may you all advance towards Nibbana, and may you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. May you all have a good day. So,
Thank you, Meninwanta.
Thank you very much.
So,